Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit Zappy here, back again with House of the Dragon Season 1. We are on Episode 4, and I'm not actually going to do my pre-talk thing that I usually do, because I am actually running a bit low on time today, so I am just going to get straight into the reaction, because I have just about enough time to get through one episode and talk about it, so we're going to get straight into it. As always, the reaction will be here on YouTube, so you know, if for whatever reason in the future I get taken down for copyright in the future, I'll re-upload this as a discussion only, and a link to the reaction will be in the description below. As always, a link to the full length is in the description below, so if you do want to watch my full length reaction to this episode, then the link is down there for you, and there's also a link for early access to the next episode as well, so if you don't want to wait a week for the next episode's reaction, then the offer is down there for you as well. So yeah, we're not going to talk about anything else, so let's get in episode 4, see what we get. So without further ado, let's go.
And tell me, Lord Dondarrion, did you think my great-grandmother was beautiful as they say?
This was half a century ago, Princess.
Yes, it was.
Oh, damn.
Next.
Okay, yeah, so that's what this is then.
And now a child.
God,
The Blackwoods
opposite
are
ends
an
of the
ancient house with a formidable army.
scale.
The blood of the first men still flows in their veins.
Ours is a bond that has long endured. Since Lucas Blackwood, the grandsire of my grandsire, aided the dragon in his war of conquest.
Aye, the Blackwoods truly turned the tide on that one.
Our history is deeply rooted in this land. Your day shall be easy, and night safe, under my protection.
Protection? The princess has a dragon, you dumb cunt.
Jesus. Oh shit. Oh, damn. Ah! No way! You deserve that, you prick. Yeah, so Rhaenyra's coming back early. Yeah, Viserys is not happy about that. There he is. Oh fucking hell, he's had his hair cut. Coming in wearing a crown. The balls on this guy.
Wear a crown. Do you also call yourself king?
Once we smash the Triarchy, they name me King of the Narrow Sea. But I know that there is only one true king, Your Grace.
Okay. Yeah, it's a good look for Daemon, but yeah, I mean, you couldn't imagine him coming in and, like, just straight up, like, stepping up to him, you know what I mean? Claiming the, yeah, I'm king as well. How lovely.
Surmise the tour did not go well? I endured it for as long as I could.
Well, not how long it
young
was
knight
for.
and lord in the Seven Kingdoms fawning over you.
What misery. They only want my name in my Valyrian blood for their offspring.
Taunting.
So? What do you want?
Only the comforts of home. You've matured yourself these last 4 years, Princess. You'll get used to the attention.
My father seems content to sell me off to whichever lord has the biggest castle.
I mean, to be fair, that's what Daemon does. It's a good quote.
Lord Corlys is said to have engaged in negotiations with the Sea Lord of Bravos. He plans to wed his daughter Laena to the Sea Lord's son.
They were the... Isn't No, Bravos isn't one of the free
House
cities, is
Velaryon
he? But...
entered into an alliance with the Free Cities,
No, it is the free cities, okay.
then we would have to seek our own marriage pact.
That's another baby.
Good night, Sir Kristen.
This is who she was pregnant with last episode. Oh shit! A cheeky entrance. Oh, in this case, exit, I guess. She's gonna go exploring. That looks like a very modern get-up, doesn't it? That she's wearing. Okay, so Daemon... This is just like, you know, this is what it means to be rebellious. You know what I mean? I'll take you around. As long as they just don't see her hair. Whoa! As a magician. It's fucking all sorts going on here. Oh shit, he's actually lost his fingers. He's lost 2 of them. I don't understand this, like, decay that he seems to be having, like, with his body. Like, what is it?
His daughter! A girl! His heir!
Well, she's getting first-hand what the people
But then to him,
don't
a
want.
babe is born. But would she make a powerful queen? Or would she be feeble? For Egon the Babe Prince might long for acclaim.
Oh my god.
Yeah, jest if you will. But many of the small folk are like to believe that as a male,
Yeah.
Aegon should be the heir.
What is Damon's plan here?
For one night, I wish to be free of the burdens of my inheritance.
Well, I believe this night might be that.
4 copper street rat in King's Landing we pay for our pleasures.
Hey, stop, boy!
Wow. Who the hell are they? Like, religious zealots?
Princess.
Oh god, you don't want to be caught out here. Jesus.
You take care, boy. Next time you might not be so lucky.
One of these, like, gold
Enjoyed that,
cloaks.
did you?
It must be quite jarring, like... Because your perspective will, like, totally shift, you know? Like, all of your life, you haven't seen the streets and everything, like, from this level, you know? It's more baby-making time. That's what it is. Had to inevitably reach the pleasure house, didn't it? Alright, yeah, I mean, our hair is in full view. The people were like, they know who you are now. Like, if word gets out, we'll have to find a way to edit around this.
Fucking is a pleasure.
Oh, Damon, what are you thinking? Oh, Damon, no, what are you thinking here? Oh, shit. 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 We've been through this. I know Targaryen's gonna be like this, but the consequences... Oh, no. This is something, like, you can't go back on. What are you doing, Damon? Do you regret it or something? What's going on here? This is... I don't know, man. This is weird. Like, what were the thought processes there, you know? Like, what's he... Like... Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Nah, words are gonna get out here. She came back in through the front door. Oh, my God. She didn't even come back in through the way she came. Why wouldn't you do that? Because then at least you've got Kristen's, like, word against everyone else's. I thought this is where it might be going. I was about to say, is this going where I think it is? Give the, you know, the turn of phrase because, you know, it's, when talking about a female, she did get blue balls, you know? But he took a vow of celibacy, though. To be part of the Kingsguard, you can't do this. Oh, you have to turn this down, Chris. You can't let this happen. I just feel like this could backfire so bad, man. I know what bloody Game of Thrones is like. This world is not kind to kind people. He's not going to back out now, is he? I think that's it. It's... The problem is there's nobody outside to, like, watch the door. So anyone could just stroll on in. Rhaenyra's attitude to everything, to be, like, rebellious and go against what their father wants and everything, is gonna... The consequences are gonna be bad for people that don't deserve it, man. He's broken his vows. Oh...
A messenger brings word from the White Worm.
Fucking, I knew with this kid.
I'm your protector. Lucky for you.
I don't need protection from a common or...
I'm not so common. I learned that the skin trade could only take me so far in this life.
She's...
Never will want to stay idle.
She's the White Worm.
Hard lessons are not welcomed, but suffered.
I mean, if she was really his protector like she claims, then why would she give information to Otto, who's clearly going to, like...
Come.
Oh my god, Damon's just got back in the good graces with Viserys.
I'm afraid it concerns the princess, my king.
Has she been harmed?
The princess was spied last evening. In a pleasure house.
What of it?
She was carrying on with her uncle.
Oh god.
They were engaged in behaviors unbecoming of a maiden.
Just like, say, like, fornicating. Like, that kind of word, you know?
Coupling.
She's listening in.
You're so sick with ambition
that you would have my daughter stalked, spied upon, awaiting your best chance to destroy her reputation.
Wow, that's a good. That's
No such intent, Your Grace.
Do you wish to have your blood on the Iron Throne so badly that you are willing to destroy mine own?
so you are spying on my daughter then. So it kind of puts Otto in a rough position as well, you know. This isn't going to be a friendly conversation, is it?
Your father accused me of something. Was I drank wine, left the castle after dark?
That you fucked Damon in a pleasure house.
Your Grace, sister, you must know I would never. You cannot believe such gossip.
My father is no gossip.
Well, certainly he's been misled. He could not have witnessed such a thing.
Why not?
Because it did not happen. I am the princess. To question my virtue is an act of treason.
Wow, she's going there.
We drank in a tavern. Several taverns. As he was my escort, I had no real choice. He took me to a show. I was only a spectator. I didn't do anything.
Not entirely sure if Alison can see through that and just...
Damon never touched me. I swear this to you, upon the memory of my mother.
Oh, and now you do that?
Foolish of you to place yourself in a position where your virtue could even come into question.
The king demands an audience, my friend.
Oh, Jesus.
Fucking hands off me.
Oh, Jesus.
Won't you even deny it?
I need to understand the charge before I can attempt to discredit it.
You defiled her. She's just a girl. Your niece.
Here is a woman grown. Better her first experience would be with me than some whore.
Wow.
What lord will wed her now in this condition?
Who gives a fuck what some lord thinks?
I should disinherit her. As I already did you. Be done with it.
Wow.
Wed her to me.
You're already wed.
That didn't stop Aegon the Conqueror from taking a second wife.
You are no conqueror.
Give me Rhaenyra to take to wife, and we will return the House of the Dragon to its proper glory.
Of course. It's not my daughter you lust for, is it? It's my throne. As long as you are gone from my side for good.
Yeah, I don't think there's any coming back from this. I think our relationship's burned forever.
As you wish, brother.
It is not in Rhaenyra's nature to be deceitful. I cannot say the same for your brother.
Yeah, but I mean...
You believe he lied?
Yeah, it just like... Why would he literally just come out and...
By reducing you.
That dagger once belonged to Aegon the Conqueror. Before Aegon's death, the last of the Valyrian pyromancers hid his song in the steel.
Come, the prince that was promised.
Oh, wow.
Responsibility I have handed to you. The burden of this knowledge. It is larger than you and your desires.
You've yet to ask me for the truth of what happened.
The truth does not matter, Rhaenyra. Only perception. You have exposed yourself. Now we must both suffer the consequences. Your courtship is at an end. You will wed Sir Laenor Velaryon.
The son of the sea snake. So I can be a remedy for your political headaches.
You are my political headache.
House of the Dragon will stand as one for a further generation.
And what will you do about the vulture who perches upon your throne? Your hand.
Otto Hightower has served 2 kings loyally and faithfully, and all councils past has been self-interested. It is unavoidable.
I disagree. I will do my duty as heir and wed Sir Laenor, but you must first do yours as king.
Rhaenyra given Viserys, like...
5 days.
Ultimatums, you know what I mean? Like...
My father was a hale and healthy warrior and dragon rider. 5 days later, my father lay dead.
He accusing Otto of...
Balon the Brave, dead of a burst belly.
It was a grim day.
It was a good day for you. Jaehaerys named you hand in Balon's stead. You are the man that taught me how to be king. You went from being another man in Jaehaerys' court to the second most powerful man in the realm. How long did it take you to choose yourself over your king? Your Grace. But Alicent, she was a calculated distraction.
Yeah, I mean, it's not
I only
wrong.
now realize how well calculated it was.
That the Queen loves you.
Your interests no longer align with those of the realm.
A loyal and must tell his king a discomforting truth from time to time, Your Grace. If he doesn't, he's failed as a servant.
You were a faithful servant, Otto.
Ah, man.
The crown and the realm both owe you a debt that can never be repaid. But I can no longer trust your judgment.
Ah, man.
I took great care in its preparation. If not brewed properly, it can either prove ineffective or else bear unpleasant.
Brewed properly.
Is this like to stop pregnancy, maybe?
Tea, Princess. It will rid you of any unwanted consequences.
It's like a morning after tea. Oh, that's it. Okay. Okay, episode 4. Wow. Alright, I didn't expect that Hightower, Otto, like he would be relieved of his duties. And I mean, the thing is that when Viserys is... he's pointing out all of the reasons, like, why he's been led up to this decision. The only thing that I just really hate about it is the fact that the only reason it happened was because Rhaenyra gave Viserys an ultimatum. Like, it was a case of, okay, I'll finally do my duty and wed Leonor, but only if you do this. Like, it's kind of like, I just feel like Rhaenyra is like, she is chaotic. Like, Viserys used that term for both Daemon and Rhaenyra, that, you know, they've got, like, the blood of the dragon and all of that, you know what I mean? They're chaotic, and, you know, you can't pin them down, and you can't tell them what to do, and they're rebels. And, like, even, like, just, I don't know, just, like, the audacity of, like, it's like a... And I think this is where, like, you know, Daemon and Rhaenyra are very similar. Is this just this rebellious nature thing that they have? Like, they are like brats. You know what I mean? Like, you can't tell them what to do. They're always going against, like, and doing the opposite of what, you know, they're told to do. They don't take their duties seriously. You know what I mean? And because of that, all of that, like, sort of pressure that could be dished out, you know what I mean? That could just be normal. Things could be very, very peaceful, and you know what I mean? The king would be, like, living happy. He's got all of these pressures that basically come from what Rhaenyra should be taking on herself, and it transfers to Viserys, you know what I mean? Like, she's not helping any situation with Viserys. I just feel so sorry for him, you know what I mean? Because, like, you can't do anything. Like, he was basically forced there at the end to be like, right, this is it now. I give you the option to choose. And you still haven't, you know what I mean? You still go against everything I say. And that, like, fucking hell. And so after all of that, even after all of the times that she is, like, just rejected what Viserys, the king, wanted her to do, you know what I mean? For the good of the realm. It's the way that things work, you know what I mean? And I mean, the thing is that she could just totally destabilize the realm with the way she goes on, you know? But, you know, oh well, things went the way that they did. And I think that was, like, the point. Like, this episode more than any previously. I mean, obviously, because you've got the previous... you know, things that Rhaenyra has done to avoid, like, doing what she has to do. We've seen that in the previous episodes. So, you know, to have all of that and then add it to this episode, which I believe was... This episode was based like almost entirely around Rhaenyra's like rebellious nature. And yeah, I mean, I don't take any like blame away from Daemon either, you know what I mean? Because the whole idea of, you know, when Alicent worded it as like, oh no, it's just corruption from Daemon. Yes, because like Daemon is purposefully putting her in a position where she can see things from the common folk, right? See it from their perspective. Purposefully taking her to places, you know what I mean, where they're doing this sort of like theatre and what they actually truly think about, you know what I mean, the people, the king, and you know, herself. He's purposefully putting her in these positions, and in a way, it's weird. Like, I just wrote down like, yeah, like Daemon's plan ? Because I don't know really what he was trying to get out of it. Like surely he didn't think that by, I don't know, it was his whole plan just to sully her. Because it's hard to really tell like what, because I'm guessing she has never had like sex before then, right? But there was no clear, it sounds so weird, like I'm going into detail about what like her facial expressions were like when you know, but I would assume she hadn't have had sex beforehand. And so was Daemon's plan to literally just essentially pop her cherry so that it would force her into a life where she didn't have to be married off because, you know, who would want her and all of that. I mean, still, I don't think that would change a lot. I still think that there would be lords out there who would gladly take her because, obviously, of the advantages of being, you know, having their future, you know, grandson or granddaughter be a part of, like, essentially, you know, have the blood of the dragon and everything like that. So I'm guessing, I don't know, that's the only thing I've really got on Daemon. But I think that's a great thing, like, about the show with Daemon specifically, is that, like, he is, like, multifaceted. Like, the levels within him, like, you can't really tell what he's thinking or what he's planning. And the fact that he literally, when he had the audience with Viserys, that he literally didn't deny anything. He literally just came out and said it. But I think that's something that, you know, while you can never really tell what he's thinking and whether or not he's, you know, having thoughts and all of that, like, in his head about what he wants to do, if he's going about it a way where he wants to, you know, if he's wanting the throne and he wants to go about it that way. I mean, Viserys pointed it out, like, it's not, you know, you really want my throne, that's what you really want. And by being wed to Rhaenyra would get that. But, like, my point is that everything that he's ever said in this show, I'm sure, has been very upfront about it. Like, he's never shied away from or denied doing something that he has done. And I think that's where, like, the differences between him and Rhaenyra kind of, like, that's where they come into play. Like, and I think the similarities stop, because while you've got Daemon, who literally just admits what he does, he's very, like, upfront and forthright about that. Rhaenyra, like, she's very bratty. Like, she manipulates and uses her, like, the power that she does have by being a princess in times when it suits her, but she's always complaining about the fact that she is a part of that life that she doesn't want, you know? Like, we've seen her, like, and heard her in past episodes where she's literally complaining about the life she has, and all of it really stems around the fact that she doesn't want to be wed off. I mean, in this episode, she said that she just wants solitude. I mean, okay, fair enough. But then you do take part in the pleasures of being a princess. Like, all of the advantages that it grants you. Like, after the whole thing, the talk with Alicent in the Kingswood. Is it the Kingswood? Where the tree is, the red tree, right? I can't remember what the trees are called now. Never mind, you get what I mean, right? She literally, in order to manipulate Alicent, basically says, like, I'm a queen, I'm a princess. So whoever told you this, it's paramount to treason. You know what I mean? Like, because she realizes, like, you know what I mean, she's really lying, and then she goes into the state of like, oh, I can't let this get out, like, you know what I mean? Like, no one can know the truth. So she immediately goes and plays upon the advantages that she has. And even more so, which is even worse, is that she swore on her mother's memory to Alicent that, you know what I mean? So she's manipulating. And that really does put a sort of like a down on her character for me. Like, I'm not a fan of her anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I was fine with like the way that she was and the way her character was being built around the fact that she doesn't want to be wed off and everything. You know what I mean? That's fine. That's what you like. She has assumed that role of telling like that part of the story about, you know, how in this world it's unfair between the sexes, right? So obviously she takes that role and mantle, but the fact of like the way she's going about it, especially like in all of the rebellious stuff that she's getting up to, it just really like, damn, I'm like starting to think you're a bit of a bitch. You know what I mean? And another thing, like getting Kristen involved, you know what I mean? Like, I know she got blue balled by Daemon, but Christ, does she even understand? Clearly she doesn't. I talked about it in the episode. I don't know if it'll be in the cut version or not. But I said, like, the consequences of what this means. Like, she seems to not understand the consequences of her actions at all. Like, you know, like all like the people that recognize that Rhaenyra and Daemon were there, I'm sure, well, people were getting up to what they were getting up to alongside. Like, people would have noticed that, and that's a great rumor that you want floating around there, isn't it? Like, put even more strain upon Viserys and their family and everything. But like, the fact that she went back to her room, she didn't go back the way she came. She came in through the front, purposefully, because she had in her head like that. Okay, well, I'm gonna get Daemon because I'm the princess. I can do what I like. Like, when you're a Kingsguard, you have to take a vow of celibacy. You've like, you know, and again, similar to the Daemon thing, I don't take any blame away from Kristen either. Like, you know, he's the one that took the vow. He's the one that should be able to say no. But it's the fact that she doesn't either. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she doesn't understand the consequences that if that was to get out, like, that could be the end of Kristen. And coming out of this episode, Kristen is the one character in this show now that I am like, almost in my head, I'm almost certain he's gonna pay the consequences of this. You know? So, well, like, the thing is, when you add all of that up, it's just like, Rhaenyra is like, you know what I mean? She's going down in like characters that I hate. I don't hate, right? I don't like right now. Because I am taking into account the fact that, you know what I mean, she is still young and she clearly hasn't gotten out of that phase yet. But it's just the fact of like the way she's going about stuff and that she is the heir. I mean, it's just the longer the show goes on, the more it just seems like Rhaenyra is not going to be a good leader. Like, even just the fact that even if she was leader, like, the realm would just fall into chaos anyway, because obviously they don't want a woman on the throne. But I just mean, like, in terms of the way that she goes about things, I just don't see her being a good queen. You know what I mean? So unless she starts to learn Because this is the thing, like, I mean, I said Kristen is the one that I worry for the most in terms of the like consequences and whatnot of, you know, that character I worry for in death. But also Viserys now, because last episode he talked about how, you know, I'm not going to be around forever, Rhaenyra. Like, you need to get this like going, you know what I mean? You're of age where you need to build your family and strengthen the bloodline and everything like that. That Viserys, I don't know how long he's got left, because it looks like this disease thing that he's got going on that he's got from the throne. Like, it was picked up on directly in episode 1, the one on the back, which was cauterized, I imagine. But we saw him when he was, you know, getting it on with Alicent, like on his back. He's still got like marks there, but it doesn't look as diseased as what the one on his arm is doing, because he only got a slight cut on his pinky, and he's missing the two here, and you could see where it like the kind of like disease had like come up and whatever, and it looked like his arm was not looking great either. So I just feel like he's not long for this world. And as this at this moment in time, no matter what Rhaenyra has done, he still hasn't truly said that he's gonna stop her being an heir, right? I could be wrong there, because their conversation sort of at the end, I can't remember if he said something specific. I remember him saying something along the lines of like, I don't know. I can't remember. I know that like in his sort of talk with Daemon, when he was kicking the shit out of him and everything, that he basically said like, I should disinherit her too for this. But I don't know if he actually officially did it with her, when he was talking with her. Just that he's gonna, you know, that she has to marry to Laenor, which, I mean, that's at least, right, that's something that we can go ahead and go on, unless something happens before then. That's a good proposal that Lord Strong came up with last episode as well, to bring the two houses back, you know. But of course in this episode, you know, there's talk about like, you know, everyone's doing things for their self-interest. I wonder if that whole marriage proposal that Corlys was to like, you know, make marriage arrangements with one of the higher ups at one of the free cities that they literally just got out of war with. Now I don't know if they were fully really at war, other than like the fact that they were giving resources to the armies that were at the Stepstones, you know. And I completely forgot that Braavos was one of the three cities, because in my head I'd had the idea that it was the three sort of cities that were kind of at the bottom of Essos, right? I can't remember, like, what is it, like Tyr, Lys, and Pentos, I think. I thought they were the three cities. I didn't know that Braavos was as well. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe every like sort of like, I guess most of those on the coast are probably just classed as free cities, I suppose, right? Because like there's no one really over there that's king of anything, right? So I guess that technically they're all free cities. But I do wonder, like, back to the point that if Lord Corlys was actually, he was like purposefully putting that sort of rumor out there, or who knows, because it still could be true, you know. But it kind of forced their hand into thinking they need to make a marriage with the Valyrians, because, you know what I mean, like that like they need that, like they can't lose that strength, you know. So this is a good fit, you know what I mean. And if Rhaenyra, like, hopefully what Rhaenyra said's true and she's going to go along with it, I mean, she better, otherwise I will truly hate her. Because she's gotten rid of fucking Otto, for Christ's sake. Like, I like Otto. I know that he's, like, playing the game and everything. And almost, like I said last episode, I almost thought he was getting forced to by his older brother, right? Because Otto is a second son. He kind of forced his way into power, as second sons obviously have to do. and you could just see in Rhys Ifans' face, like, you know what I mean, like you could see like all of that work and time, like when Viserys took the hand of the king, like, you know, off him. You could see like in his face, like it just all of it was gone, like in an instant, you know, like all of that time and work and everything that he put into getting in that position is gone. I don't know how true what Viserys was saying. So he basically said that Jaehaerys had been absolutely fine like 5 days before on a hunt, and all of a sudden like turned over like that. Weird, you know. And then Balon, who was Hand of the King to Jaehaerys, his belly exploded. Jesus. But this is the thing, like, I don't know how true all of that is, but it is a coincidence that you've got Viserys, who for some reason can't shake this disease or poison, whatever's getting to him, right? And I said in the first, like, from the first episode, like, Otto and the Maester are clearly, like, connected, right? Their views line up. And then you've got at the end there, you've got the Maester giving Rhaenyra a morning after tea, so to speak, to stop there from being a baby, right? Which would have been interesting, like, if that hadn't been a thing and she was almost forced into childbirth, that, like, if the baby, you know what I mean, like, because they're thinking that it would be Daemon's, right? When in reality it would be Kristen's. And so that would have been mad. I mean, I guess she can choose not to take it, but I don't know why she would do that. Like, because everything in her character suggests that she doesn't want to be straddled down with childbirth and everything. So I don't see why she wouldn't take it. But I just think it's interesting, like, if Otto's whole plan, and being forced by his brother, who we heard at the in last episode, that no, like, we have to get Aegon on the throne. You know what I mean? Rhaenyra can't. I wonder if the Maester could have... I mean, because the Maester's the one that brewed it. He says that, like, if it's not brewed properly, it can have some bad effects. If he's in line with what the Hightowers are doing, then I don't know if I would put it past the Maester to have not brewed it properly in order for something to happen to Rhaenyra. Like, there could be bad effects. Like, for example, like, she could become... I don't know. I don't know if that would really affect her sort of airship. If she was, like, to become... what's the word? Like, pregnancy kind of, like, stagnant, like she can't give birth. Or whatever, you know? I don't know. But it is interesting, so I will be looking out for things that, like, in the future that might, I don't know, change the way she is if she becomes, like, diseased as well. Because then we could probably connect her and Viserys, but we'll see. Oh god, what else? Because we covered a lot there. I didn't even go through, like, the one thing after the other there. I kind of just went into the talk. But I mean, Otto did have the White Worm, which was Missaria is her name, I think. Her name, yeah, Missaria, yeah. So she left, I'm assuming, like, after they had that talk at the end of episode 2, or around there, right? She must have just left back then, went back to King's Landing, and then ended up under Otto, like, working for him. I don't know specifically if she was working for him, but she's obviously the one that has whisperers on the street. I just feel like it makes sense that she would be working for Otto because, you know, like, it's similar to what Game of Thrones was like when you had, you know, like a few people on the small council that had, like, all of these people that were, like, you know, that were listening out and whatnot, and just, like, sitting in the shadows and seeing everything that was happening, so that nothing could go amiss, right? So it wouldn't surprise me, but that doesn't matter now because Otto has been relieved of his services. So yeah, But it does make me wonder, like, what did the White Worm mean when she was like, I'm protecting you, when in reality she's basically just given the information to Otto that fucked Damon over. It's not really protecting, is it? Unless she literally meant literally, and she brought him in from fucking wherever, like off the streets. I guess it could just be as simple as that, but yeah. So yeah, Alicent gave birth as well, so she's given birth to the second child. Couldn't tell if it was a boy or girl. Not that it would matter in the line of succession unless something happened to Aegon. So, you know, I mean, we'll see what happens there. But now it looked like the cycle continues. Like it's just birth after birth after birth. So I'm guessing that's what it kind of meant. I mean, you had them like going back and forth between Daemon and Rhaenyra and to Alicent, and so you know you can tell that what was happening there is because there were some scenes that were really short scenes where it was just going back to Alicent, like she was just taking a drink before getting into bed, almost like she must have known that because she's given birth that it's ready to go again, you know. So she must have been preparing for that, and I'm guessing that's what the wine was for. Like it was just like, oh, here we go again, you know. And that just reminds us, yeah, like going back to, you know, Rhaenyra and her bratty behaviour, like not, like she's acting out of her own self-interest as well. That like when she's talking about, you know what I mean, who would want to, you know, basically live locked up in a castle and basically be a baby machine kind of thing. Saying that directly to Alicent, who literally has to go through that. Like you're not thinking about other people either, you know. So yeah, the very first scene was quite funny, quite interesting. So obviously that was a tour that her father had sent her on, you know, essentially for courtship reasons, to meet a bunch of lords and whatnot. The first one was a Dondarrion who was very old, and Rhaenyra came out with the whole, like, you know, how was my grandmother, was she pretty? Like half a century ago, Jesus. And then immediately after that, a kid who I really like, by the way. So he was a Blackwood. I didn't get his first name, but I thought, you know, they were interesting because they have their ancestors were actually the first men that were there. So not like the Angles and everything that came across. They were originally from Westeros. And the dude, oh my god, I'm so happy the kid did the other guy in. that guy, honestly. Fucking giving him shit from the fucking side, like a proper bully to just a kid, you know. Like honestly, and everyone around him was actually like lapping it up, thinking it was funny as well. But I like the fact that the child literally just done him in, like just shut him up for good. That was really funny. That was great. I love that. He got what he deserved. God, yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what I've got. I think I've covered, you know, practically everything. It's going to be interesting now to see who is the next hand of the king, because it has to be someone that you trust, right? And I don't know if there's anyone in line for the position who's currently at King's Landing. I mean, Corlys, possibly. Like, after the marriage, Corlys could come in be hand of the king, possibly. But, you know, we'll see what happens. I mean, that marriage, I don't know if it'll really... It might not fix Corlys' pride, so I don't know if he would like to be hand of the king. I don't know. But I'm trying to think of, like, who else could be. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I've got. I just found it funny that Daemon, like, he did everything to fix like this relationship with his brother, and then in the matter of an episode, he fucks it. Like, how much time had passed in this episode? Like, was it like 2 days? He fucked it immediately, you know. But this is the thing with like Daemon, you don't know if like his whole that was his whole idea from the get-go. I mean, the guy walked in wearing a crown. He didn't have to do that. Like, he could have literally like not worn the thing when he walked in. But that's the thing with Daemon, like he wants that sort of like, he wanted that recognition, you know. And that's the thing with Daemon, it's just mad. So yeah, that is pretty much all I've got on that. Oh yeah, the whole cat's paw thing, I forgot, I did write that down as well. I didn't know that. I don't know if they are, because this is the thing, like I don't know if that like particularly was in the books, because I'm sure in Game of Thrones there was nothing. I don't know, was there anything like, I don't think Azor Ahai or anything was like, I don't know, like was it officially mentioned in Game of Thrones? I can't remember. I know that obviously like there were references to it, like we saw like Beric and whatnot with flaming swords, and of course, you know, Missandra was trying to get Stannis, like she thought Stannis would be the thing, but I don't think they ever like really truly had the whole thing of like the prophecy and whatnot. So I don't know, I could be completely wrong. Or maybe like they did have the sort of the I mean, they did have that because they had the prince who was promised and everything like that. But I think the whole thing that they sort of have in this show is that Aegon had the dream, right? He was the one that had the whole prophecy of the prince that was promised and whatnot, and so it's like kind of associated with him. But I don't know if this is something that is just being revamped for the show, you know. Because obviously, like all of the books haven't come out yet, so you like we don't know how the official story ends. But obviously, in Game of Thrones show, it's Cat's Paw the one that defeats, you know, the Night King. So, you know, I don't know if that's basically only just been written in there as a thing of like, well, it was Aegon the Conqueror's dagger, and therefore like he was the one that, you know what I mean. I don't know if they're just like rewriting it for that so that it fits in line with the show, you know. Because if anything, I guess that was the one thing, Cat's Paw and everything like that's the one thing that truly ties this in with Game of Thrones, and it's not just being a different thing, you know. So I don't know, like for example, it's they're purposely doing this to put it in the same timeline as Game of Thrones, the show, is what I'm saying, as opposed to it being like an alternate thing. So so yeah, but anyway, that is all I've got. So thank you everyone for watching. In the description below, of course, you can get access to episode 5's reaction right now if you don't want to wait a week. Then the offer is there for you. But yeah, that's all I've got. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.